All right, I think we're live. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is actually my first live stream, so I hope I don't mess this up too bad. But I have an enormous opportunity to talk to you about. I am so excited about this. I am already myself. I've got my music ready, and I know a lot of you have seen my video already. If you haven't, that's in the description below, where I talk about just the basic idea of selling your music as an NFT. And I want to talk about NFTs, non-fungible tokens for musicians. That's what this whole video is about. And specifically, a way to sell them on a new marketplace, Ghost Market, that's just about to open up. This is coming this weekend. It's going live. We've been waiting for this. Some of you have been waiting for a few weeks now because of my video. And if you're there in the chat, I'd love to talk to you. Please say hi. And I am going to start giving out the Kcal that was donated. This is the energy token that you need to mint NFTs on Phantasma. And so what that does is it makes it so you don't have to put in any money of your own, and it's totally hassle-free. Like if you wanted to mint an NFT on Ethereum, you'd have to buy Ethereum, which, you know, then you have to pay fees to transfer it to your wallet and pay fees to mint this and mint that. And the fees with Ethereum, I heard, they hit $50 today, $50 just to like send money. Like, I know Ethereum's awesome, and right now, you know, okay, there's cool things you can do with it, but things are about to change, and in a huge way. And Phantasma, I mean, the opportunity here, it's so incredible. I still can't believe the price of Phantasma. Wow, you can still get it for, I believe it's still under 9 cents, even though there was a meteoric rise today, and I imagine that's going to continue. I mean, you know, you can't predict the future, I guess, but in this case, you know, it's going from, having, a few use cases, actually, surprisingly, compared to other coins. You know, you can't say that it had no use case, because actually there's the wonderful game 22 series racing. There's a lot of wonderful stuff happening with Phantasma, but it, you know, I mean, suddenly it's going to open it up to everybody and be the superior product on the market. And so, yeah, thank you, Brennan. He said the fees on Ethereum are absurd. It really is. I've I've experienced that myself. And then, of course, every transfer costs that. With Phantasma, a transfer is like, hundreds, or, a minuscule amount, hundreds of a cent or something like that. And we're going to make NFT minting free for musicians, and actually artists too. There's a fund for them as well. But I'm going to talk about musicians here, because this is such an important thing. Music has had such a tough year, and I know if anyone out there has had to try to make music, or sorry, to make money with music this year, man, my heart goes out to you. I've made music this year, but, you know, I wasn't like having to do it to survive or anything. I was actually doing it, you know, as part of a business idea, right, that I had. And I could talk about that, but it, you know, it was more like a search, right? And I didn't really ever find anything that I could talk to anyone about or go live with until this. And this is something that we can all participate in. And so this is kind of a heavy thing, you know, to lay on someone like, okay, now you can make money with music. And it was a heavy thing for me. And I had to do some soul searching. Man, talk about a pun there, I guess. But no, I really did. It's like, whoa, like I'm 42 years old, right? I've done things with music in the past, and I haven't made money with them. I feel like I've been, like successful in a way sometimes, because I've had like, I've done like a tour, and I had shows that were sold out and people loved it, but I didn't like make money on it, just as like a solo acoustic musician. I'd get paid like $100 or something, for a show that I had to drive hours to and find a place to stay and whatever. And so even as a solo musician, I couldn't really make it. I mean, maybe especially, but band can really entertain people in a way that a solo musician can't. I realize I play a genre of music that isn't particularly commercial, whatever. That's, it is what it is. But I play other kinds of music, actually, and I'm going to hopefully branch out into all that stuff. This is just so inspiring to me, and I hope it's inspiring to you. Everyone I talk to about this gets inspired by it. Everyone has questions, and so I'm hoping I can answer them. And I'd love to hear from you in the chat if you have questions. And also, I mean, if you're ready to go, if you're a musician who's like, man, I want to get started on this, I know I'm going to do this. What we can do is, I'll show you a little bit later in the stream. I'll show you this Chrome extension. It's the Ecto wallet, and this is like a browser wallet. So it's really simple. You just add this, and you add this extension to Chrome. You put in a password, and you get like a like a seed phrase that you want to back up. That's just standard practice with crypto wallets. It's kind of like if you ever lose the key to your car or something, well, at least you have a spare kind of thing. And you don't want to lose access to your money, so you definitely want to do that. But yeah, then I'll send you that kcal right to the wallet, and we're going to keep doing that. I'm going to do a shorter live stream tonight, but this weekend I'm going to really go marathon with these and try to just attract people and be here to talk about this like hours and hours. And so you can drive people to these streams, and this will be the place where we can meet and we can talk about these things. I'm really excited to be able to do this. I'm going to be doing it myself, and I'm going to have a walkthrough, of course, once this is actually live. It's not quite yet. It's a Thursday night here. So sometime this weekend, they're going to shut down the chain, I guess, maybe briefly, not shut it down, but like go into read-only mode or something for a little bit on Friday. And then once those changes go live, they have so many changes. And I don't want to get into the minutia. I really don't, because there is so much. I want to stay big picture tonight, but inevitably it's going to come out, because since I made that first video where we were talking about the music NFTs and just the idea, and there's no real place where you can do this yet. But Vincent, man, he has added so many things that are going to make this so good, and just so far beyond anything that you find on other platforms. Everything is like finally done right. And NFTs have always been a really early adopter, kind of see the pants thing. A lot of it is kind of like, this is like provably rare and all of that, but I'm going to sell 1,000 copies and they're all going to have the same link for the unlockable content or something like that, right? And so, they've really thought these things through and had like all these little additions that are going to make this so much better and so much smoother. We're going to go through them all, but not right now, because this is the time, when we really want to just kind of take a step back and, just think about how this is going to change people's lives. Because I know like for me, I feel like, music was sort of like ruined for me before I even, was born in a way. I guess my father was a musician, and it sort of, my biological father, I should be clear about that for people that know me. But yeah, he's he was a very talented musician, one of the finest bass players in Madison, Wisconsin, certainly. And he played with, some pretty big people or whatever, and was in a lot of bands. But, he chose that, I guess, in a way, right, over having a family and that kind of thing. And the fact that people have to make that decision, right, because you could never possibly make money from music. And it's sort of like one of those things like everybody knows. I was watching that movie, Dewey Cox story or whatever, and it has every stereotype, right? And one of the main ones is like, oh, you can't make money with music. The wife keeps saying that, right? Like it's this truism. But unfortunately, it kind of is, and with Spotify and all of these things, it's really become the case. And now live music was always the one thing where people could make money, but even that is gone now. And when it comes to the recordings and all of that, like the record companies usually take, everything, but it's not just that. So many people are involved in a record and they all need to be paid. And, when music is a commodity and it's just a certain number of like hundreds of a cent per stream or whatever it is that you get, there's not a lot of money to go around. And so, you hear these stories about artists that have 100 million streams and they got a check for, nothing, a couple $1,000 or something like that. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. And, there's other ways to make money, merchandising or whatever. But this is a new one. And this is something incredible, because what it does is it introduces to music the idea of the digital collectible. The digital collectible, like that sounds a little weird to people, right? Now, you still hear some people who say, oh, I just don't understand how Bitcoin can have value. I just heard someone say that today. I don't understand, and just because it's rare, why is it worth something, right? Well, the thing is, rarity obviously has been tied to, money and currency and all of those things. But, that is actually a good point. What is Bitcoin backed by, right? And so in a way, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, because they're unique, they're really a lot more rare than Bitcoin, in fact, you could say that not only are they much more rare, but then they are backed by something. I mean, in the aggregate, once people are doing this a lot more, maybe they will be, there will be so many of them that it will be, they won't be as rare collectively or something like that. I don't know. But at the same time, like if you look at music, for example, like records, a lot of people collect vinyl and those types of things, and they're never probably going to be ever as rare as a one of one NFT, right? If I release this song that I have coming up, Devil's Bed, there's a plug for myself, right? I don't even have a link here. I haven't even told you my name, right? Jesse Goplin, JESSEGOPLEN. Go look me up. I'm a real person. And I'm on Spotify, and that song's coming out tonight, midnight your time, wherever you are. So yeah, Devil's Bed coming out on Spotify tonight, and that one I will be selling an NFT of that. I'll be putting that up on Ghost Market this weekend. And now I lost my train of thought because I got distracted by the fact that I didn't want to plug myself, but I have to kind of, right, because I'm the example. So yeah, so like say I sell this NFT, that's where I was. And I profit from it, right? Someone else might profit from it. And this can kind of go both ways, right? So, there will only ever be one of those. And the fact that now a fan owns it, they're going to want to make that more valuable, right? And so they're going to have an interest in promoting that song. They're going to have an interest in making sure that the rest of your NFTs sell for a lot of money. I wondered why. I bet that guy, like in the latest Beeple NFT auctions, that Beeple is this artist who just made a ton of money with NFTs. And I wondered why that one guy, like, okay, I forgot his name, but at the end he bid $777,000 for that one NFT collection. It was like a lot of NFTs or something. And it was like the bid before that was only like 300,000, but I bet that guy owns the other Beeple NFTs, because just the price of that one going for so much, that will make the other ones seem like, wow, those must be worth a lot too, So once you own one, then you have a massive interest in making sure that the rest go for a lot, first of all. But not only that, just having that connection with a fan, that a fan actually becomes like an investor, and then, normally when someone buys a CD or whatever, it's awesome, but they bought the CD and sooner or later, they'll lose it, it'll break. And now people don't even buy CDs. They just listen on Spotify, maybe get on a playlist, but then they'll move on or whatever. And, hopefully they'll follow you or something and get your next song. But is it ever really going to be more than like, those hundreds of a cent can't add up to more than, I don't know, half a cent or something. No one's ever going to really do that unless they go to a live show, which is nice, and hopefully those will start again soon. But at the same time, with an NFT, now suddenly say you've got 10 fans only who are really, really big fans, but, they really think that there's something to your music, and maybe, they would bid against each other, and, that might be all you'd need to actually make quite a bit amount of money from your NFT. But more importantly than that, once they own that NFT, then, they're going to be a cheerleader for you, and they're going to make sure that people hear about you, people play your song. And so it's not that you have to hide your song away. By making it rare, that just means you make ownership of the song rare. You're not hiding the song like nobody can listen to it or nobody can stream it. You want people to listen to it, and the people who own your NFT will want people to listen to it. They'll want it to be famous. They want, you to basically, make it available to everyone to enjoy, but to only one person to own. That's sort of a paraphrase of kind of a famous phrase in the art NFT world. It's like everybody can enjoy it, but only one person can own it. And I think that is really the key philosophy there. And so I try to apply that to music. And everyone's going to have their own idea about how to go about this. But the way I outlined in the Soul Challenge video, that's a way to maximize profit. And I was conscious of the genre when I was doing that, there's like hype videos in crypto and hype videos in music. And, I realized that a lot of the things I was saying, especially because, I was talking about something coming in the future, I was making a certain genre of video to try and hype people about something that's coming, but everything was true. So, I mean, I wasn't like I was, just making things up. I believe everything I said in that video is the case. I have learned more, and the team has actually advanced things far beyond what it was when I made that video. So, it is a little outdated actually at this point. But yeah, the the way this is going to work though is we are going to let's see. Let's check this out. I really never live streamed before, so I'm going to try to do this display capture thing here. Okay, there we go. So KCal, look at this. KCal just hit over 2 cents, 2.2 cents. This is incredible. Sol is doing amazing. It's just wonderful to see it. So much is going to happen. And then there's the Ecto wallet. Let's see if we can do this. Ecto Chrome extension. There we go. Look at this. So if you're a musician, this is how easy this is. Now we can't actually go live yet, but I have the wallet open right here. Actually, let me pull this out. People have donated so much. Let's look at this. Look at this. This is the Sol Challenge wallet. People have donated. Look at this. It says $288 worth of KCal that I'm going to give away to musicians here. And people even donated Sol. That's awesome. And I stake that, and that's producing KCal. Now, Phantasma is like the name of the project, right? Sol is the main token. And KCal is like the energy or the gas token. It's a 2-token system. And so when you have Sol and then you stake it in your wallet, like you see it staked here, that generates KCal. So I've even got more KCal that I can claim right here. I see 1.2 KCal. That just came out of nowhere. And that's from having 200 Sol, which is only $17 worth and only for, a couple days. So it's actually quite a return. Much more than you get on your money in the bank. Plus the value of the underlying tokens are going up besides. So it's like a double whammy or something, quadruple whammy. So yeah, musicians who are interested in this, I didn't really send out this live stream to everybody because I wasn't even sure that I would be able to do it technologically, but I'm happy to do that even starting now if someone's out there and is ready to go live with this. And it looks like everything's going wonderfully in the world of Phantasma. There on the dashboard. The change is again happening Friday, and things will be going live this weekend. And so yeah, the digital collectible, that's really where things are, and we've seen so much happening with that. Let's look at this website. I know there's been a lot added to this one. There's the dual token ecosystem and all of that. All right. So yeah, there's the 2 tokens, Sol and KCal. Now these are the 2 tokens of the blockchain, right? Like you've got Sol, which is staking, governance, voting. It's the main form of cryptocurrency on the Phantasma network. But then KCal is the one that you get when you stake Sol, and you can only get it by staking Sol, and you need to have it to do anything. You need to, as you can see here, you use it to mint NFTs, to pay transaction fees, like when you transfer something. And so that's what I'm going to be giving you, because that's what you use to mint the NFTs. And I'm going to send 101, I believe, KCal to you if you have like a verified YouTube artist profile automatically. You just put in your wallet address in the chat. I'll send it to you. Otherwise, if you have some videos on your channel showing that you are a musician or something like that, that I can easily see. Totally. And so I'll send 101 KCal, and that's enough to mint 5 NFTs plus 1 extra for the transaction fees. Those are just like tiny amounts of a KCal, but just so that you can get the full 5 out of it. Yeah. So and then if you actually want to buy these, and this is for the people that are going to buy your NFT, they would have to purchase Sol, and they would have to take that extra step. But the fans, they're going to be investing in NFTs. So you want people that are comfortable with cryptocurrency, and this might not be right for every fan. But from the musician side, it's actually incredibly easy. All you'll have to do is have me send that to you. And I mean, it's going to take you a couple minutes. You'll have to have your album cover art, your finished product of your music, you know, your WAV file, your mastered file, whether you mastered it yourself or had someone master it. That's all you really need. And you install the, you know, this wallet, or you can use Poltergeist. There's lots of different ways to do it. And I'll walk you through it. I'm going to make a video, you know, showing how I do it and all of that. I have all my stuff ready to go. Yeah, so this will happen on Ghost Market. Let's look at Ghost Market again. I know I showed that in the other video, but this is so important. This is where we're going to mint our NFTs and sell them. So right now, the marketplace, as you can see, I showed this in the video. These are all mostly, are all, I think, not all, because there's actually Neo stuff. There's awesome stuff on here, but what you're seeing here is from 22 Series Racing. So these are NFTs and highly advanced NFTs that have a lot of these features, or maybe even all the features. Not probably not some of them, like the you know, self-destructing NFT or something like that. Hopefully not. But yeah, they have game licenses, game parts, you know, and so when you buy these game parts and you use them, like, your money's not gone, right? Like, you can sell them, maybe even make a profit from these you know, rare cars, and some of these are going for quite a lot. Wow, you know, I'm actually, look at this, 355,000 SOL, 188,000 SOL. Like, I know there's no way I'm going to get that much for my song. I was going to ask 10,000 SOL. I was thinking that would be a good price in honor of the you know, the first Bitcoin transaction with the pizzas that was sold for 10,000. I thought that would be good because we're starting a new thing here. maybe I should ask more. No. I would love it if somebody bought it and resold it for a profit, and I'm only gonna ask for 10% royalties. It's like the minimum amount, and that would be you know, like a service fee almost, you know, because I might have to answer questions or help the next person. And I think you want to be available as sort of like a support person when you have NFTs out there, you know, like if someone has a question or something. And so I think it is fair that you would charge a royalty of some amount on a resale, but you also want the person to buy it as an investment. So even though you can charge a royalty up to like 50%, I think, on Ghost Market, so like if somebody bought your NFT and resold it, you would get half of it. That would kind of, you know, take away the incentive of, you know, paying money to get it. But maybe if you were airdropping them, I thought about this. What if you gave them away, but then you had the really high, you know, royalty percentage? What if you had a 50% royalty percentage? You know, I don't know. It seems like you're price gouging maybe, but you know, whatever. It's, there's all kinds of strategies, and we're going to find out what the market likes, and people are going to try everything. Believe me, no one's going to listen to me once this gets going. I just wanted to make it easy for people. So a lot of the things that I suggested were just a way to make it easy, but I know people are going to make it complicated and fun. And there's so many things you can do with smart contracts. I mean, the sky's the limit. We're going to be discovering new things that you can do with this for a long, long time. But yeah, so this is Ghost Market. This is where we're going to go. This is actually going to be totally redone, I imagine, this weekend. But yeah, so the music industry is pretty, you know, circular. Everyone kind of works with everyone because, you know, people perform together, and people work together, you know, and someone who's like an engineer might work on all these different people's albums and that kind of thing. So the word about this is going to spread pretty fast once, you know, people see there's money being made. So it's going to take some pioneers who are going to have to do this when, you know, we're the very first ones to do it. And everyone else is like, whoa, I don't understand. I have questions or whatever. And we're just going to have to be like, okay, here, look what I just did. Now, look, I made this money. I sent out a press release, and wow, you know, look, this guy made money. And so, you know, that's just what it's going to take, is that whole process of being the first ones to do it, and then having other people be like, wow, okay, that guy just made money. I want to try this, you know. But it's, you know, it's hard to tell someone to do it, right? Like if I'm just saying, oh man, you got to try this. Well, I mean, first of all, you know, you can't quite try it yet, but soon. And, you know, everyone says soon in crypto, but now it really is soon. Like they've scheduled it, and they don't set a date unless it's for real. Yeah, they did Ethereum swaps, and I think some people remember that it took a while or something like that. But that was actually an issue with Ethereum. This is, once again, Ethereum is like, you know, grandpa, or maybe grandma. Maybe we have grandpa Bitcoin and grandma Ethereum. I don't know. In any case, I mean, Ethereum is obviously way beyond Bitcoin and awesome. And I do own Ethereum, but I shouldn't badmouth it, but I mean, $50 fees and all that. Yeah. So Sol, it, still in the single digit sense, has a lower um, circulating supply and a lower rate of inflation than Ethereum. So, yeah, and I think Ethereum just hit $650, and it doesn't have many of the features of the Phantasma chain, and so yeah, I don't want to, I'm trying not to give like investment advice, because I don't want to have this be like one of those things where I tell you to put your money into something. And I'm specifically making this video for musicians, to keep them from thinking that I'm doing some kind of like scam or whatever. So I'm saying specifically, you don't have to put money in, right? But this is actually, you can actually go look. Phantasma, Sol, this whole thing, a lot of people have recognized. A lot of the very biggest YouTubers in crypto have recognized that this actually, I mean, before I ever got this idea that like this was one of the coins that was most likely to make you a millionaire. I remember there was a BitBoy video where he called it that. Hashoshi, obviously, I think is extremely reputable, and he's really done a deep dive on this and has nothing but good things to say. And I mean, this is one of his picks. So people that maybe you should listen to are saying that this is big. I'm actually more concerned about the music, and I want to talk to music people because, for us, music is, more important than money. It's more important than a lot of things. And, it's so sad. I feel like, like in my case, it's like before I was ever even born, I was like raised on this mantra, probably the first thing I ever heard. No. Was, you can't make money with music. It's not a future. You don't do it. Whatever you do. And then, just a weird situation, it's like, probably the forbidden fruit or something, you want to crave it, but it's also like, it's all around you, and at least in the era that I grew up in, music was, like everybody's identity. Like even my parents, music was like the formation of their identity, and the records that they owned meant so much to them, right? And I would sit there with the headphones and listen to them over and over, and I'd soak in the album cover, the visual, everything. And it, collecting is such a part of music. And actually that's kind of gone away. And I think people are probably jonesing for it, but physical collectibles, first of all, right now, and I hate to say this because I've, that's been my business, is physical collectibles, but my day job or whatever that I'm currently avoiding. But yeah, it's physical collectibles are kind of gross right now. It's a really bad time for eBay. It's a really bad time to be someone who has their money in things that people collect, things that people touch and trade and have to go to spot meets or coin shows or whatever it is. Coin shows obviously are completely shut down because they're all old people or whatever. And me, no, I'm just kidding. I'm an old person, and it's not that bad. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's it's the time for digital collectibles, and to have this come along at this time. And especially for musicians who really have lost their very last source of income this year. I guess, I was going to say that the timing couldn't be better, but really, this could have been a little better before the pandemic, because there has been some extreme suffering. And, I've heard some horrible stories, just the suffering that's been going on in the music world. And yeah, 1 million people have come along and said, oh, I'm going to show you how to make money with music. And I've got this course and I've got this crap I'm going to tell you about, and I'm going to sell this to you. And like, they keep feeding you a little bit. And what I want to talk about is something where we all benefit because we work for ourselves, and you don't have to give me anything and I don't have to give you anything. I'm only giving you that because it's in my interest for you to make money. Right. Like, and that's because if we're all, participating in this economy together, and we're all trying to get soul, and we're maybe even writing songs or rapping about, how much soul we're collecting. You can't even imagine. I mean, with a circulating supply that small, and suddenly the demand going from 0 to 1 million, it's unbelievable the possibilities that exist for musicians who sell their music NFTs for soul. And, then you're actually taking ownership. And that's what's so key. I think musicians really know about ownership and how important this is. And when you have the soul token, let's go back to that. Sorry, Ghost Market. Where was that? Check that out. When you have soul, it's like you're an owner or a part owner of like the Federal Reserve Bank of the Phantasma chain, right? You have governance. You can decide like right now, for example, you get a certain amount of kcal for doing this or doing that. Like that could change because people vote on it. See, if you have soul, you can actually vote on these types of things. And so when something happens like that's in people's interests, say to reduce the inflation of soul or whatever it is, or increase it up, I don't know. Right now, actually, it's perfect. And you don't want to just like get rid of it, because actually that's what funds development. And that's what's so important and so crucial with Phantasma is their awesome development. And I mean, the team is amazing. I mean, we are about to see something incredible. But I'm just saying, theoretically, anything that you wanted to vote on, I mean, that, we would actually get to change the things that we wanted to change if we all agreed. And to have that ability to, sort of earn interest and own, the actual currency that's being used to create these NFTs that runs the chain, creating our own kcal. And right now, I mean, it's just so insanely cheap. Like, I mean, even to become a soul master. I mean, I cannot believe that I just completed my 4th soul master. That is insane. I was dreaming of maybe having 2, but there are only 845. And I guess I'm 4 of those, which is insane. If you think about that, like I have like this huge stake in the success of this coin. And right now, you could too, I guess. But I don't think that's going to last very long. I think a soul master is going to be something pretty amazing to have pretty soon. So yeah, if that's your goal, you might want to get going on that. But there's going to be musicians who come along who can command $1 million or $2 million or whatever it is, for their music, right? And if someone like that comes along, can you imagine if fans were all simultaneously trying to come up with enough soul to buy, or, it could be an artist too, it could be an art NFT or whatever, simultaneously trying to come up with enough soul so that they could be the one to buy. I can't even imagine what would happen to the price. But that's just one scenario. So yeah, we talked about the idea of the digital collectible and the scarcity of it. And so that's something that is really, it just comes natural to the art world. Because when you create a piece of art, when you paint a painting, it's a one-off automatically, pretty much, and you can make prints of it, but that's obvious, right? Okay, it's a print, it's not the original, and maybe it's signed and numbered, so it still has that collectible thing. But that's just, like the limited edition thing still with prints. It's just, it's become such a part of the art world. And with music, we might have to change the culture a little bit, right, to get people to get used to this. This idea that you can actually make money. But when it comes to making money, people are pretty quick to adapt. And as soon as they see people making money, as soon as they see that first person sell one, and as soon as they see the first person who buys one resell it for a profit and that kind of a thing, it's going to be all over. And so there are actually a lot of people watching this who are going to find out, who are watching the space and watching to see what happens. Some of the people that I've been working with on my song and other things are going to be, trying to see, oh, wow, is there really money in this and that kind of thing. And, but yeah, I hope to actually bring in some other artists and do some collaborations. And I think that's one way to maybe drag people in too, is like have them have the experience. And so, people, obviously everyone's out there for hire. I mean, in the music industry, whoever pays the piper calls the tune, right? And so that's definitely going to be one of my big strategies, as far as bringing people in. Let's close that window there. That's going to be one of my big strategies, bringing people in, is to do collaborations and maybe try to get people to do a split on the NFT. If not, I can pay them or whatever. But yeah, going forward, that's, collaborations and that. I wanted to get the one song done right away, so I just did the acoustic thing. And that song's very special to me, Devil's Bed. That song's coming out. Maybe if anyone, I doubt anyone's watching in Europe, sorry. This is kind of a US centric time here for this video. But yeah, that song meant a lot to me over the last 12 years, because that song stuck with me, because that song is kind of about giving up on music. And in fact, the last thing I wrote before finding this idea was even more about that. And that idea is ending up as a bridge in my next song, but that's a different story. But yeah, no, that's kind of been a theme, is just giving up and having to do whatever, and that kind of thing. And that song just has been like therapy to me or something, and I play it without recording it, just for myself a lot of nights, a lot of times, if I'm stressed out or whatever. It just calms me down, it centers me, because the whole song is just about not caring about, just like, the world is messed up, and so what, that's just how it is, right? And just playing that and getting that out, it just really I don't know, it's been a thing for me over the last like decade or something. And the song has like slowly improved, and I think it really took its final turn when I added a lot of swing to it. I tried to make it really have that blues sound, with the shuffle beat. And when I play acoustic guitar, I have and some of my biggest influences are like Reverend Gary Davis, who have that like a blues finger picking style, but it's not like a 12-bar blues, and obviously I don't want to compare myself to him, but because he's like the very best in my opinion. He's playing at 100% and he's singing at 100% at the same time, and but that's what I try to do. I try to give it my all while I'm singing, and I try to give it my all while I'm playing at the same time, and hopefully people can appreciate that. That's just my style or whatever. And if I had to put a name to it, I'd probably call it like country blues, but country as in just, like, that's just, I guess that's the name for that genre. But trying to play like Etta Baker, Reverend Gary Davis, people like that, where yeah, it's the blues, but it's like at the alternating bass lines or walking bass lines of the like Travis picking and things like that. Merle Travis kind of made that famous. So yeah, in any case, but yeah, that's coming out, so that might be out. And I just had to kind of put that out quick, especially because I wanted to have kind of a demonstration video for everyone to show just how to do it and that kind of thing. But it does mean a lot to me. And, I did have to really think, am I ready for this? Am I ready to do a music career now? And hell yeah, I am. I mean, this is what my whole life has always been about, even when it was about other things. I never felt like I was those things. I always felt like I was a musician, just a frustrated one who had to do these other things. And that's the problem. It's probably too late for me now. I mean, let's be honest. I have my thing that I do, but if there had been this path when I was young, things would have been a lot different. And that's why I want this path to exist, and that's why this means so much, because people coming up now, I can't even imagine the change that this could have if, people understand that, this becomes like a cultural, movement or whatever. I don't know. I'm trying to find the word, but just a cultural shift, I guess, right? Where people see money being made with music, and they see early artists who are 18, 19, 14, 15, who knows? I mean, people start young in the music business, and young people have amazing voices. They're so talented. I mean, and a lot of music is performance and dancing and stuff like that. I mean, young people, I remember I was in Heathrow Airport during the Olympics, and I was surrounded by all these teams, and like they're like little kids. But yeah, no, so young people, that's who can really benefit from this, because they have their whole lives ahead of them, and they're going to be able to ask a lot more than 10,000 Soul or whatever for their stuff. Like if you have a young up and coming rapper who is so good, right? And also, beat makers or whoever, I can see a lot of things happening with this. But in any case, people have their whole lives ahead of them and have extreme talent in a very commercial way. That, why wouldn't you want to maybe take a chance on that, right? And so, this is designed to change things, to really change the game. And when we have people who are just getting started in their music careers have this available where they don't have to work the day job, they don't have to work for $7 an hour when they could be making music, that is so sad, right? When they can know that if they can just do that one good song, they will actually make money from it. Right now, you can make the best song in the world, and I'm telling you 99% chance, 99.9% chance you're not going to make anything from it. It's going to cost you money. It's probably going to cost you tens of thousands of dollars to even have the equipment to be able to do it. And it's going to be really sad. And it's going to destroy, your love of music. And the people who do get big, they get big because other people have their hooks into them and they're making money from it. We all know how it is. And this can just, it can change things for emerging artists, and actually it can change things for big artists too, especially artists who maybe have been released from their contracts and things like that and now own things, because the very first people to do this are probably not going to be people in contracts. It's going to have to be the DIY musicians, people like Kean Sparks. Actually, Kean is going to be releasing that song Haunts of Old soon. I am so excited about that. And if I sell my song, maybe I'll buy his for 10,000. It'll be like a swap or whatever. That's just one thing, actually. I would like to maybe pledge that formally in my listing for the song, that I will spend that 10,000 on another one, and that will, I just want to keep it going and pass it on, and that's just more important to me than the song or the soul or anything, because this is a change that needs to happen, and we need to, we need people seeing it happen. And the soul of the music industry is at stake here. There is so much that this will change. And I was just going to talk about big artists. So someone who is a big artist and has a big fan base, but maybe has been released from their contract, maybe hasn't had a record in a long time, maybe wonders why they would, and that kind of thing. Why would you? Say you're a band that was popular 10 years ago or something like that. Well, suddenly you've actually got a big fan base. There were 1 million people that heard your thing, and yeah, maybe your latest album didn't do so well, but maybe you don't need 1 million people if you've got 10,000 people who remember just how big you were and have in the meantime gotten wealthy, or maybe they were already wealthy. I don't know, maybe they're born into money. Whatever it is, but suddenly they can invest in your song. They can be the one person who can be that super fan and have that relationship with you, and just have those bragging rights. This is such an incredible thing for artists who are already big, already known. So artists just starting out, artists who are really big, pretty much anybody. Because at this point, like, even if you only sell your song for like $100 or $200 worth of soul, remember, we're talking about soul being incredibly, insanely cheap right now. And so, like, I'm asking 10,000, right? And we know what happened to the person who paid that for the pizzas with the Bitcoin. How much is that worth now? I can't even do the mental math, but it's got a lot of zeros. And I'm not saying, like, Bitcoin's gonna, it's not gonna be the same with soul. Like, I don't know that it's going to go to the, thousands of dollars per coin or whatever necessarily, but that's the thing. It doesn't even have to. If it became $10, like, that would be insane. That would be such an enormous a gain or whatever. And that could, I think, if you look at the economics of it, that could easily happen with the level of use cases that are being opened up right now. And it's not just it's not just the music, it's the art. And there's games going live all the time. The chain is the perfect solution for all of the problems people are having with Ethereum, and not just for music, but for dApp developers, so many things. And like I said, there were people before I ever talked about this music thing, and this is just me trying to save the music industry. This is not like the main thing Phantasma is doing. They're opening up a mint shop, which is awesome, but that's like one facet, and then the music thing is one facet of that, right? You have so many things going on, and people were already saying, obviously, like I said, that this was the coin that could make you a millionaire before any of that happened. So that is actually a key component of the plan here. is that you would, be able to sell your music in this coin that is so extremely undervalued in relationship to its potential. Because, if we are selling it, for a coin that's already gone up 10 million% or whatever, like Ethereum or something like that, and one which has a lot of problems, and maybe we'll overcome them, but maybe not. And actually, the NFTs, that's another thing, like, aren't nearly as good. Let's see if I can let's pull this up one more time. I think a bunch of NFT features things have been added to this website. Am I wrong about that? Wow, yeah, this has gotten incredible. There we go. So, I mean, there are so many things about these NFTs that are better. And this is really the first attempt, in my opinion, to perfect the NFT. And it's the first attempt to really take music NFTs seriously. This is the first time a platform has existed that has really created just, I think, the perfect way. And I did have some input into this, but I obviously can't take credit for it. They were mostly just asking me questions about this or that or whatever. It was all them. But they asked me, that's the thing. They were, interested in what a musician needed. Oh, what are the dimensions for cover? Or what's this? What's that? And so everything is like perfected for music. They just kept adding things and adding things. It's a really exciting time because this is about to go live. So yeah, the multi-layer NFT, this is crucial because, if you wanted to sell an album NFT. And speaking of albums, I actually have albums that I've released in the past. I don't know, 5, 6. Some of them, the later ones that made it onto Spotify and iTunes and all of that. I might try to re-release them as an NFT. I don't know what is going to happen with that. Like something that already exists out there with a CD. This is all such a gray area. Like imagine if a band that had sold 1 million copies of an album, and everybody had the CD or whatever. But then they decide, oh, well, we're still going to sell one NFT because people like collectibles from our band and only one person can own this. It might still sell for a ton of money, even though what is backing the NFT isn't necessarily rare just because it is an NFT from them. But, they could add stuff to it to make it rare. It'd be very easy. They could have some exclusive thing that you get. They could have an old exclusive, whatever, unlockable content that you could get. And, yeah, they've really the unlockable content. That's one of the things that they have improved upon so much. It's going to be so much better on Ghost Market on the Phantasma chain. I am so excited to see where that goes. So yeah, Phantasma connects to Steam. Non-fungible tokens. Look at this. All right. So the Phantasma chain is the premier blockchain for non-fungible tokens. It is like from the ground up built for this. And that's because it was built for gaming, and that's what gaming is. And in fact, you hear people all the time saying things like, oh, I remember hearing this on CNBC or whatever, where they're like, well, I'm you'll hear a business person, they'll say, I like blockchain technology, but I'm not really into cryptocurrency, right? And that's because cryptocurrency isn't really, that amazing compared to non-fungible tokens. I'm sorry. And Phantasma is, in my opinion, the very, very, very best, very cutting edge of NFTs, the very best non-fungible tokens. And they call their NFTs smart NFTs. I first heard that phrase come out of Vincent's mouth. And it really hit me, and so I said, hey, you got to use that for marketing. And they have been, actually, because it is better. And the NFTs that you get from other places actually makes me sad when I think about it. All these people have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases on NFTs that don't have any of these features, like the unlockable content on these NFTs now, that you're going to be able to tell if someone has opened it. So that's going to be like, that's a huge improvement right there. That, just, oh, look, here's one I'm selling. I'm reselling this one, and the unlockable content hasn't even been opened or whatever it is, right? There's just so many things, so many exciting things. So yeah, what are NFTs? We've been talking about that, but it's a digital collectible, right? A unique digital asset that's going to be backed by your music if you're a musician. So what you do is you upload your thing, you upload your cover art, you put it on there for sale. Describe it,
that kind of thing. Sell it. You're good at selling your music, right? And then that's what you do with all of your other streaming platforms that you're not making money from, right? And it's their fault if they're not making you money. Use their platforms to advertise your NFT. And if you're a rapper, that's perfect, right? Because rapping, it's like it integrates marketing right into the message. So you can just rap about your NFT right in your song, and then Spotify can't do anything about it. Maybe I'll sing about it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a blues song about selling my NFT on Ghost Market. But yeah, so it's really, I mean, the Phantasma chain is really built for gaming, right? And gaming is about performance, right? So everything that they do is just just light years beyond anything. And so Ethereum is incredibly slow, in addition to being incredibly expensive compared to Phantasma. And it's extremely developer friendly. So here's the smart NFT section. This is so crucial. All of these are new ideas that you can't find anywhere else. Multi-layer NFT, this is what enables the album NFT. It's so crucial. Timing NFT, you could have an NFT that expires basically. And there could be a lot of uses for that. Maybe you could sell an NFT that would give someone something for a year or whatever, maybe access to your, people could trade access to something. Or, my original idea when I was looking for a way to turn music into an investment, before I knew about NFTs, I was actually working on that for many months before I ever even heard of NFTs, if you can believe that. But I was also trying to create more of like a Web 2.0 type of company. But my original idea was that you would basically sell lifetime access to unlimited premium content. So, it's something that people do all the time. Like if you're a YouTuber or whatever, or any type of content creator, including a musician, you can have a website where or whatever it is, where people pay for premium content. So my idea was that you would buy access to premium content for life or whatever, and then the investment aspect wasn't as developed, but the idea was that as a person got bigger, they would charge more for it. So if you're one of the people who followed someone early and you got your lifetime subscription to their premium content, you get it for like $10 maybe, because they're trying to get people going or whatever. But then later on, it would be like 250 or something like that when they got bigger, and you'd be like, wow, I saved all this money. But that's nothing compared to what's going on with this. This really does turn music into an investment, because someone might buy an NFT of an artist for, say, $1,000 worth of soul, and then if that artist becomes a famous rapper or whatever, I mean, they might sell it for $1 million worth of soul. Like, this could be a lottery ticket. And I know that there kind of are ways to invest in music, but they're pretty convoluted. Maybe buying like rights to songs, like there's companies like Hypnosis and all this that do that. But it's not actually a great business, because there's not a lot of money in music. This actually creates money in music that wasn't even there before. Oh yeah, this is the nesting NFT. I love this. The nesting NFT allows you to infuse an NFT into another NFT, like again and again and again, right? So you could have layers to this, and that actually could be quite useful. What if you wanted to sell a massive collection, anthology or something? Like, what if you had a full collection and you wanted to ensure that that collection stayed intact? There are people who do that, who want the collection to stay together. Although generally speaking, I mean, as someone who built a huge business on eBay, I can tell you, it's better to split them up. It's always better to split them up. You'll just get more for individual things. It's just how it is. So yeah, it's weird, because actually all of my experience just like leads to this. Everything except creating visual infographics. But this guy is amazing. I love his infographics. And there's wonderful ones to share here. This is phantasma.info. This could be a great resource for you. Like if you're, a musician who wants to make money from this, share this one, phantasma.info, with, the people that you're sharing your link to buy your song with, so they know what they're getting into. And right now, I mean, you would actually be doing an amazing favor, I think, to a fan if you told them about this project and they were to buy some soul, to buy your album, your song, or whatever it is. And you can do a video sky's the limit. I mean, your creativity is going to far exceed mine. Your ability to make money is going to far exceed mine. And that's how I want it to be. I will, and that's what's so great about this is that I benefit when you benefit. If you make a bunch of money doing this, people are using Soul, people are using Phantasma. Okay. I'm involved in that too, right? Now we're all going to benefit together. And so the more this spreads, it's going to be incredible. And so as we sell our songs and keep our soul, don't sell your soul, keep our songs, sell our songs, keep our soul. I think for many of us, it's going to be the first time we've ever actually made money. I think for me, actually, I have made money with music, where I actually turned a profit, but it was a weird experience. I was actually playing on the street for money when I was like 15 years old in Germany. I was an exchange student there. That was the only time I ever really made money. And I made a lot, man. Everybody walking by put a mark in my thing. I was in like Frankfurt on the pedestrian place. And man, that's style. If you're a street musician, I tell you what, that's the place to go. I don't know, maybe they're not that generous now, but it was. And it probably put your case far away from you so you don't breathe all the coronavirus on them. I don't know. Set that guitar case at least 20 feet away. So this will be the first time that I made real money, I suppose, from music. And it's really exciting to me, but I know you can make more. I have not tried to be commercial with my music. I've tried to, I guess be authentic. That's kind of like my history with music is I always wanted to create things with bands, but it just kind of never worked out. I was in an awesome band, amazing musicians. Tim Favre, bass player, I've been talking to him. He's going to definitely do an NFT. He's been recording some great music. He just incredible bass player. Yeah, he was in that band. And then the drummer, insane. He was animal. I like the greatest drummer. But yeah, even though every single person in that band was amazing, I thought, did I just call myself amazing? Well, back then maybe I was. I don't know. Because I still had that belief that maybe you could make it, but none of us ended up really making it. But I think with this, maybe now we are. And so I've been in contact. And it's going to be fun. Maybe we'll collaborate on some things or whatever. But yeah, so, but then because the band things never worked out, then I gravitated towards the acoustic thing. And for me, it was just all about just trying to make something authentic. And I stumbled sometimes because it was kind of the do-it-yourself era, and I made some mistakes with my recordings and things, and I've learned from it. And you got to have a support network there to make mistakes. And so, like maybe your first NFTs for people who are starting out, maybe it's not going to go that well because you made some mistakes when you were recording. And even lately, I haven't done the greatest job. And for me, like trying to record both acoustic guitar and vocals at the same time is a big no-no. Like you're starting off with the big mistake right there. Here, let me shut that down. So, I'm basically doing it wrong from the beginning there, by doing them both at the same time because they have, they're very close to one another, physically. And so you can't get the separation. And honestly, the best thing I think to do is to just use one microphone like I did, because then you have no phase issues and no problems. Because I did something I learned the hard way. I had this really great idea for one of my albums, Cowboy. That was the one I did in 2008, where I was going to do a stereo XY pair, they call it, where it's an amazing trick for recording. You use two microphones right next to each other and like point them out like that. And, one goes into the left channel, one goes into the right channel. And you, when you listen to headphones or you listen in the stereo field, it like recreates what your ears would hear. Like if your left ear was here and your right ear was there, right? It's like it mimics that, and you put those on and it's great. And I thought it was awesome. I was mixing it. I loved it. Whatever. I thought it was a great effect. And I didn't realize because this was all kind of new. Even YouTube was fairly new at the time when I was doing this. That almost all forms of compression, whether it's YouTube or Spotify or whatever it is, they sum the audio channels together. And so those minute differences in the sound, and I'm kind of moving around, so there's like a Doppler effect, and things like that too. But those minute differences in sound and pitch or whatever are incredibly dissonant when they sum those channels together. And so basically, like, it was a huge mistake. And so the one microphone that I did for Devil's Bed is definitely the way to go. And so to me, when I listened to that Cowboy record, like on Spotify, it kind of grates on me. It's almost like every single note sounds, like there's dissonance, like it's out of tune or something. But when you have the actual CD and you listen to headphones, or, you're in the stereo field like that, it kind of pops out at you like a 3D effect or something. It's kind of neat, but it's not neat. And it, for other reasons, unfortunately. And that's just how it is. But yeah, and I really, really am very lucky to have worked with a wonderful mastering engineer on this song. And again, it will be going live at midnight tonight, wherever you are. If it's already past midnight, then it's already out in your area, I guess, on Spotify. Devil's Bed, yeah. It's mastered by Adam Hagar at Mount Olympia Mastering. I am just so grateful. He works just so hard, and he has such a great set of ears. He does so much. I mean, you can go to his website, MountOlympiaMastering.com. You can see all the famous people he's worked with. Huge list. And they all just say so much about him, because, he just, he leaves it so much better than he found it. And all those little things that stick out and annoy you, but, I'm just not talented enough as a mixer or whatever to fix. And especially something like this, where it's one microphone. I mean, it is what it is, And so you're hearing exactly what I played. There's not even the possibility of auto-tuning it if I wanted to. You've got one sound source, right? Like how auto-tune works is you take your vocal track and you tune it to the other tracks, right? But with this, it is what I sang and played, and that's all it is. And I did add like some echo or something, and some saturation to give it that analog sound. But yeah, it's like, whatever, with people tightrope walking without a net or whatever. And yeah, I enjoy it, but it's not probably ever going to be like, audio ear candy or whatever. Like electronic music, you can just do so much to sweeten it and make it so amazing and just sound so good and all of that. And I can probably do a lot of that, with my next song. Definitely. I'm going to try to get other musicians involved, and I'm going to mix it. I'm really going to have a lot of different tracks and just, have everybody sound as good as they can individually. But you can't take one microphone on two sound sources and maximize the sound of both of them independently and all that, right? But at the same time, it has a very authentic vintage sound, because a lot of old things were recorded that way. And I used some pretty vintagey sounding equipment too, like a tube preamp and an actual 1176 physical 1176 compressor, if you're familiar with audio. Before it even went into the computer, and that's basically all the processing there was. So it's it just kind of it has something to it. I think an authenticity as far as the recording. And I'm excited to be able to offer that master for sale. And I was so amazed. I know that Adam definitely is going to be watching this. I know that he watched the video about the mastering thing. I asked him about it, because obviously he's a mastering engineer. This is like part of my video is all about how masters are becoming like, a throwaway thing, unfortunately, for a lot of artists, because it just goes to streaming. And if it's sold, it's just sold as an MP3. So, this probably should be a big thing to mastering engineers. I know he watched it because he upsold me on the 24-bit master, and I was so proud of him. I was so excited because I knew he was excited too, because he was already thinking, wow, this could be big, And it was great. And he was asking me then, you got to let me know how that NFT thing goes. And, he works with some of the biggest artists, like I was saying. This is going to spread so fast once it gets going. Yeah. But yeah, I was so happy when he upsold me on that. I was going to ask for it, but I thought, because, I talk about 24-bit masters and all that. But no, he definitely, he was the one to bring it up. And I was pretty excited about that, because mastering engineers, I need to contact more of them, but I know he'll tell a bunch of them too, because this is just going to revolutionize everything. And it's another thing where everybody benefits. This is going to benefit not just musicians and not just fans. I talked about that, like fans, think about that. Like the money, people spend a lot of money on music. I've spent a lot of money on music. And I haven't spent that much money on music, but I still spend a lot. And that money now can be an investment. And you can actually make money from it, and people do it anyway. And you can support the artists. You can revolutionize things. You can make things happen. A big artist, an established artist with a fan base, could even do a pre-sale where someone could buy the NFT and that could fund the recording. The opportunities this opens up are nearly limitless. And it's not just music. NFTs you're gonna be buying houses, and instead of a title, you're gonna get the NFT. This is everything. Blockchain is a chain of ownership. Cryptocurrency is one thing you can own. How many things are there you can own? All the rest are NFTs. Music is one of them, and we need music to make this happen because music is having a really hard time this year, and that's why this means so much to me. And like I said, this is like a lifelong thing for me. But yeah, NFTs are basically the future, and that's why everybody's saying that Phantasma is the thing that can make you a millionaire, because it's the best chain for NFTs. And this is the time. It's about to happen, because we're all going to be able to create these Phantasma NFTs, and specifically the music NFTs. To be on the cusp of this right now, it's so exciting. I can't wait to share that with you when it goes live. And show you the whole process and how easy it is. And I'm going to keep doing these live streams, and especially this weekend. I've been going for a while now here. I should probably quit. I could talk forever about this, but yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. And I will be back hopefully pretty soon. And I'm glad this test went well. I will try to be back. If not tomorrow, then definitely Saturday for a very long stream. Thanks again, everyone. Take care.